So Saturday morning, I was deep asleep. I guess Brian had already woken up. It was early. So Cooper had to go to work at the golf course, had to be there at 6 a.m. So it's like 5:45. He checks his phone into my room at night. He was coming to get it to go to work. And I don't know why you've got to check social media in your mom's room while she's sleeping real quick. But he flipped on his phone. The light is like glaring and it wakes me up. And it's like, hey, could you leave the room and check your phone somewhere else? And he was just silent for a minute. Everything was silent. And I had that drop in the pit of my stomach. Something's going on. So I sat up and I just sat quietly. It was dark. I couldn't really see. And he said, I broke up with her. And I just said, come here, Cooper. And I just hugged him. We're quiet together. There's nothing to be said. We were quiet together for a long time. And then I just said, did she break up or did you break up? And he said, I did. And I said, I'm sorry. And I said, did something happen? And he said, no, that's the thing. So he was real emotional. And he said, she's not the one, but I really love her. Oh my goodness. His relationship with her, and honestly, not even his relationship with her, but his growing up over the summer caused us to start butting heads. Yeah. And I sometimes maybe even placed blame that it was the relationship, when in reality, it was the coming of age. It was him pulling away. And anyway, over the course of his 7 or 8 month relationship with her, I like her and she's sweet. And he's heartbroken. Yeah. And so I just don't know what to do now. My emotions before were like, Lord, whatever's best, even if it means heartbreak, because I wasn't sure this was the one. Even if it's heartbreak, whatever's best, would you act swiftly? Would you, and Cooper in his relationship with the Lord has determined this might not be the one. And right now he's wavering. He's kind of going back and forth. Well, but she is really nice and maybe she is the one. And I'm just like, biding my time to see what happens and letting him process with the Lord. But what I didn't expect was for me to be heartbroken also. Yeah. Heartbroken with him and for him. And I still don't know how to lead and be his mom in this situation. So crazy. So that's fun. So that's what's happening in my life. So I'm interested in what's happening in your life and hoping that it's maybe a little bit more exciting.
It's hard.
Oh my goodness.
It's super hard. Okay, here's something that I want to wrestle with today. But before I do, I'm going to introduce us.
Oh, great.
So I'm Heather George. This is my best friend, Jamie Joe. This is the podcast Life in Motion, where we talk about life, all of the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, everything in between. Yeah. And we're glad you're here for the journey.
Yeah, so good. Go ahead. What do you want to wrestle with?
Okay, so in our school, back to school, our class, we are...
Oh, our class. When you said back to school, I'm such a mom that I was thinking back to school, but you mean the class we're taking.
Our school that is torturing us with papers and things. Whatnot. Yeah. So side note, I went to the Mind Spa yesterday.
Yeah.
And
I don't think we've ever talked about the Mind Spa on here, so you probably need to define what that is.
Okay, so there was an Instagram post contest that you could win a session at a Mind Spa, which sounds
intriguing.
It
might be worth saying that the owner of this place that has the Mind Spa, she is a member at one of our church campuses. She's a Christian counselor. We really love her. And so anyway, they have started a Mind Spa, and so we were invited to join, and we went last week and not knowing what we're getting into. So we walk into a room with about 5 desks all facing the wall. Yeah.
And
different walls.
Yeah. And there's a little on the desk is a journal and pens and a candle and stuff like that. But you go in and you just sit in silence and quiet yourself for a few minutes, and then you are guided through journaling with some prompting questions.
So you had to start journaling.
So I had to start journaling, which was, it was interesting to walk in there. And one of the things that they did last week was an emotions wheel of plotting yourself where you're at on the emotions wheel. This week when I went, you were plotting yourself on your energy and emotions high to low. So there's 4
Interesting.
grids: high energy emotions, positive and negative, and
Yeah.
low energy emotions, low energy emotions, positive and negative. And so plotting myself on there, it's like, I forget, I didn't bring it with me today, but there's calm, peaceful on the
Yeah.
low energy. And then on the other side is like just despair.
Right.
I forget what they were. And I was kind of on the line. I realized as I'm journaling through,
Yeah.
on the line between, I'm not going to remember what the low negative emotion was, but feeling drained because of how much mental energy I had expended writing that paper.
I love you so much.
I was like, I realized, sitting there realizing I'm feeling calm, but I'm also mentally spent on
One
the
paper.
effort that it took.
We're going to
for a
have to be
paper.
nicer to our children that are in school, because right before I hit send, so we electronically send our papers to our professor.
Yeah.
Is he a professor?
I don't know if he has
Our
that.
school pastor, whatever.
Yeah.
Right before I hit send, I read it one more time. I wasn't feeling great. You can hear I've got a little bit of allergies or cold going on. I wasn't feeling the best, so I read it one more time, and I was just like, I don't even have it in me to change anything at this point, and I'm not positive this is what he wants. Send. Take that. Just take that and do with it what you will. I thought, I ride my kids so hard
Yeah.
for lack of effort.
Are you kidding me? This is what you think a paper is? Come on, you can do better
Come
than
on,
this.
you guys, pull it together. And there I am on the afternoon
Yeah.
before it's due, just going, I don't have anything more to give. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done.
I think I wrote in the email with the attachment, not even sure this is what you want. Boom.
Okay, well, so we finished a unit. We've got a new unit coming up that we're starting.
Hey, I've got to get back to something you said when you very first spoke.
Yeah.
You want to wrestle over something today.
Yes,
So
well, let me finish.
Okay,
So our
okay,
unit,
okay.
we have a paper, and I'm going to start it now.
we have a paper due in like 3 weeks or something. You're going to go ahead and start
I'm
it.
just going to get started now. That's what I always tell
Yeah,
myself.
right. Yeah, right.
Okay, something that I want to wrestle over in our school. One thing that we're talking about is spiritual formation.
Yeah.
And some of the different readings and resources that we have, one of them talked about we are being formed in Christ's image, and instead of
We're forming ourselves.
we're forming ourselves in Christ's image, which
Like
it's
I'm
a-
working to become
yeah.
more like Christ, which is what I would probably say.
that sounds like a very good
does.
thing to
Bravo.
do. Like I am. Yes, I am. I'm praying more. I'm doing
Yeah.
my devotions. I'm working to become more like Christ. But in actuality, is there a scriptural basis for this in our books? We are, I'm sure there is.
There's probably right there in our the
Probably.
chapter that we read.
We are being formed in
Right.
Christ's image. We are
So we have a
being
part to
remade.
play,
Yes.
but the remaking is what he's doing.
He's doing.
Yeah.
So I read this quote, and as we talk about all this stuff that we're doing with us,
Mind
in
spa,
mind
healthy
spa,
eating.
counseling,
Started going to the chiropractor this week. Just
all of
trying
these
to take care of
things,
myself.
taking care of these things. Is it all physical? Is it all just a bunch of work to try to get you to an optimum place
Yeah.
so that you're functioning on all 8 cylinders?
Are there 8 cylinders in us?
I don't know.
Okay, go.
But instead being formed, and how does this relate spiritually to who we are?
That's good. That's so good, because I do feel like for a while I've been wrestling, and I sometimes feel this way when Professor/Pastor Blake is speaking. Like, am I working too hard? And then I think I'm actually rather a lazy person, so probably not. But anyway, just what exactly is my role, and what is the Lord's role, and how do I not mess it up?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, there's this quote from George MacDonald in the book that we're reading, and it's to give us the spiritual gift we desire, God may have to begin far back in our spirit, in regions unknown to us, and do much work that we can be aware of only in the results. In the gulf of our unknown being, God works behind our consciousness with his holy influence, with his presence. He may be approaching our consciousness from behind, coming forward through regions.
The Lord is sneaking up behind us.
He's sneaking up behind us, coming forward through regions of our darkness into our light long before we begin to be aware that he is answering our request, has answered it, and is visiting his child. And I think about Cooper and the season that he's in right now, and the Lord leading him to heartbreak.
Right.
That the Lord, is asking him to do something that is causing emotional distress.
Yeah.
That's causing sadness.
Right.
That's causing grief. That the Lord, came up behind him. And I did that when I was 16. I can't say I was as heartbroken as Cooper, but I had a boyfriend when I was 16 years old, and I just knew the Lord said, there's somebody better for you, and I broke up with him, and it was awkward because everybody's like, why in the world would you break up with him? You guys had so much fun together and everything. And it was sad a little bit, but and in that sadness for me, there was a hope that there's more, there's better, which I think a lot of times is the hard part of our emotional journey, is because it just feels really uncomfortable.
Yeah. I said something to someone that was at our audience when we recorded episode 1 several weeks ago. And their response, I can't even remember who it was, so I'm not pointing anybody out, but their response was interesting to me. I said, I'm praying for Cooper that whatever God needs to do to captivate his attention, to capture his heart, to draw him close to him, that he'll do it, even if that leads to heartbreak. I just pray he'll break his heart sooner than later, and that it happens while he's still at my house, where hopefully Brian and I can help guide him. And the person's response, like that I would pray for my child to have their heart broken, was quite shocking to them. And then, as Cooper's heart is breaking, it's quite shocking to me that I prayed that as well. It's quite shocking. The Lord, and then me as a parent, which should be an extension of the Lord in my son's life, I think I was sneaking up behind him too.
Yeah.
All four is good, but man, good sometimes doesn't equal good feelings. So interesting. So as we're on this journey together, Heather, and you're looking at ways to figure out your giftings and not waste the next 20 years of your life, and I'm trying to optimize and steward the whole of my life well, do you think the Lord has snuck up behind us in some ways?
I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it, because there's so many times where, in these last 22 years of being married, you think something is going to happen. You think that this is the way things are going to go. And then, you find yourself somewhere and you're like, I would have never guessed I would be here. And I never would have saw this coming. And I think oftentimes the Lord has to sneak up behind us, because if we knew, we wouldn't go there.
That's so good. When you said that, it reminded me of something, because when my functional medicine doctor, I don't know how long our listeners have been listening, but if you remember way back, I think maybe season 1, the last episode, or something about depression, I confessed to the world that I was going to steward the whole of my life well. And it's taken me on this path towards physical health in my physical body. And so I'm working out regularly. I'm doing all these things. What's fascinating is I can now see, in some of that, would never have put words to it until you read that quote, but I can see where the Lord was sneaking up behind me in some of this. And I'm actually I'm feeling so set free right now, having this revelation right here with you, because I've been wondering, like, am I working too hard? should I just be able to kind of eat what I want and trust the Lord that my gut health's okay? Am I doing too much in the natural and not trusting God enough in the spiritual? Anyway, what's fascinating though is now I'm 7 to 8 months in of eating a very restrictive diet, and the Lord has started showing me only in the last 2 weeks how often I turn to food for comfort and not Him. Like now that I really haven't had refined sugar in so long. How often where I think like, man, I'm tired today. I don't really feel like cooking. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for dinner. Let's go get the kids cookies to eat after school as a snack. Like I want to like pacify time with sugar.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, Cooper had a bad day. And I actually did this. I took donuts to him and his coworkers at work on Saturday because, they were working outside and it's hot and it was a treat and all of that. But I thought, how much do I turn to food for comfort?
Yeah.
And I've never really been severely obese or anything, so you can hide that pretty well. And anyway, just interesting. I think that the Lord allowed me to walk through and work on my physical health. And I'm not even yet off of an antidepressant, but work on my physical health and then begin to show me, let me show you one more area that you aren't trusting me in. One more area where you're not like me.
Yeah.
It's eye-opening.
It is. But that's the thing is that with the Lord is He won't show you too much at one time. Like He doesn't, because there's you, me, everyone.
Sure.
There's a whole laundry list of things.
Oh my goodness.
That once we kind of realize, oh my gosh, I'm using food for comfort.
Yeah.
That in a while, He's going to show you something else. This
Yeah.
is another place that you're not trusting me, that you
Exactly.
haven't given me this part of your heart.
Newsflash to everyone in our generation, like, you never arrive. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but like, I really thought by now I'd be done.
Yeah.
I'd be done having to grow.
Yeah.
I would just be pouring into everyone else, just helping guide them along their path. Just like, come on over, let me help you, because I have got it together.
Oh, so far from the truth.
So far from this leads me to a question that we discussed in school that might be worth talking about. So if we have listeners that are journeying with us like we've asked them to, journaling and working on maybe some new habits, and what do you think? Do you think that people, your desires change first or your habits change first, and does it matter?
Well, this is a question that we talked about in school, so I think I have the answer.
Good. Well, I would like to talk about it. I will say, well, I'll let you give the right answer and then I'll push back on why I think it's wrong.
Okay. It seems natural that your desires need to change first. And oftentimes we do pray that, Lord, change. I've prayed this. Lord, help me to stop doing this. Help my
me
desire.
want to read the Bible.
Help me want to read the Bible. Whatever it might be that we're praying, Lord, help me do this. Help me stop doing this. When in actuality, I believe it's our habits that have to change first, and our desires follow.
Yeah.
That a lot of times in Christian terms, we talk about it as you speak or you praise, like, thank you, Lord, that you are providing for this need that I have, that you're taking care of me in this situation, before you even see the benefit of His goodness. Like,
Sure.
you know that your monthly bills are coming up short.
I thought you were going to say monthly cycle. I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought that.
Well, that might be applicable as well, but you know that your monthly bills are going to be short. You're not going to have enough money.
Yeah.
And so you're talking in faith of, Lord, I know that you're going to take care of me.
Sorry, I can't focus now because I thought you were talking about your period. Go ahead.
You
I'm
ready?
sorry. I'm ready for you. Go ahead.
You're speaking in faith and thanksgiving before you even know exactly how it's going to work out, but you're trusting that it is. The same with our habits and our desires. I'm changing my habit because I'm believing that you're going to show up and change my desires. You're going to form me.
Yeah.
You're going to transform my desires into your image.
I've decided, you're very persuasive. I think I've decided I agree with you. But what I was going to say, I think I think it's just me externally processing the revelation I had like 2 minutes ago. I think what's interesting is I did have a desire for a healthier physical body. And that desire came first because I promise you the desire to work out did not come first.
Yeah.
Or the habit of working out, or what. I just had a desire to steward my life well. That was the desire. So the desire drove the habit in that situation. But I began working out and I changed my diet. And then the Lord snuck up on me and showed me that I had something deep inside that I was unaware of, but he didn't show it to me until I had changed some habits. So fascinating. So desire.
Well, and even, I don't know. I think do I desire to be healthy? Yes. Do I want to give up all the treats and things like that?
Sure.
I just want to be able to eat what I want to be able to
Sure.
eat, which has been my motivation for working out for a long time. Is
Yeah.
I'm going to work out so I
So
can
that I can
eat
do what
whatever I
yeah.
want.
Yeah, so I can be my own boss.
Yeah. But
Well,
I feel better when I eat healthier. So my
Sure.
desires change and that my body feels better.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat certain foods anymore because I don't feel good after I eat them.
Oh my goodness. I accidentally, this 7-8 months in, I accidentally ate something. I must have been pretty far off my dietary restrictions because I'm pretty healthy right now. And it messed with me for like 4 or 5 days. And I was just like, wow, this isn't worth it. Anyway, but back to the do habits drive desires or desires drive habits? Man, I do think habits drive desires, but God is so good. He will take a good desire that you have for something to change a habit that will lead you deeper with him. I mean, I'm living proof of that. That's just crazy to me. That's mine. That's him sneaking up behind me.
I'm reminded of, I'm not going to remember the book, but there's a guy that wrote a book, I think about habits. Might be Atomic Habits. I don't know. Don't go buy it. But it might be Atomic Habits, where he's talking about the habit of working out. And
interesting.
he says to start that habit of working out, you start at putting on your shoes. Like for a week or however long.
that's hilarious.
You just put on your workout clothes.
You know what
and
we
you don't
want to
even
do?
work out.
You know what the American church, what people in our country do?
We buy a gym membership.
Well, and we go and we kill ourselves on the first workout, and then we're in so much pain we can't go back.
Yeah.
That's what we do
Yeah.
because we want quick results. We don't want to have to walk a long, slow journey with the Lord.
Yeah.
I went spiritual there, but we don't want to have it. We don't want it to have to take time and effort and energy and stillness and resting in the Lord. We want to go, okay, I'm going to get healthy, gym membership, new workout clothes, 2-hour class the first day, and then you're like,
And a diet. I'm only eating celery for 24 days, and I'm going to
watch
lose.
this.
Yeah.
Watch this world.
And it lasts for less than a day.
Oh, yeah.
And this guy was like, you put on your shoes, and I don't remember how long. All you do is put on your workout clothes.
Yeah.
And then you walk
sounds
around
like
the
my
block
kind of workout.
one time.
Just put on your workout clothes.
Which is the same with spiritual practices,
that's good,
with
Heather.
whatever it might be, is don't start with, okay, I'm setting my alarm for 5 a.m. because I'm sitting down
And
for
reading
an hour.
the book of Leviticus.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop till I get through it.
Start with 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Start with 5 minutes, one Bible verse, one simple prayer.
I love how you're saying that. One thing I've been doing since I've started working out again is on the days that I'm just like, I have zero desire. I look up a YouTube workout video that's like 10 minutes long because I'm like, I can do anything for 10 minutes. But I just don't skip. Instead of 35 minutes or whatever, I just go 10 minutes, get my heart pumping, whatever. And just instead of allowing myself to go longer and longer without working out, I just push past I don't want to.
Because your desire then is going to take over your habits.
Oh, yeah. Well, and my desire is to never feel like I felt before, like when I had to work out for that first time.
Yeah.
That was not fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, interesting. So, Heather, we know that there are people that are legitimately journeying with us. So I feel like if we have to start new habits, so do they.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not in this alone because we didn't set out to do this. You remember you said this episode 1, like this isn't like see the juicy details of our life and let us entertain you. But it's seriously, let's go on a journey to become more like Jesus and let him form us. And so we decided determined today with the help of Professor/Pastor Blake, that habits often dictate our desires. So everybody, text us 23101. Text the words life in motion. You've got to do that first. You text life in motion to the number 23101. Then follow the prompt. What is the habit that you're going to start? And it doesn't need to be big. It doesn't need to be join a gym and work out for 2 hours a day while eating celery. But are you going to put on your shoes every day? Or are you going to, maybe you're already in a rhythm, but you sometimes backslide from that rhythm? Are you going to stick with it by working out for 10 minutes on the days that you don't feel like doing it at all? What's your habit? Share it with us. There's something about doing it in community. I'll be honest, I would not be as far along in my health journey if I wouldn't have, I jokingly say, mistakenly, but I wouldn't have shared on the podcast that I was going to steward my life well, because the accountability of I said it and I meant it, but now I've got to put feet to it and actually do some work is changing my whole life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That accountability is
write
everything.
it down. Share it with us. So
Well, I'm going to start working out.
oh, ooh,
Ooh.
ooh, ooh.
Because I piddle around and do 1 day a week or whatever,
Yeah.
but I need to. And my desire is, let's get this body into shape.
Yeah.
And that's my desire. But my desire has not been driving me enough to actually
Sure.
do it. So habits are starting
I wasn't going
next Tuesday.
I wasn't going to share one because I thought I was already doing enough things. But when you said
don't have
that,
to.
well,
You
I
are
texted.
doing a lot of things.
I am doing a lot of things, but I texted. I joined a gym last spring that my physical therapist suggested that I would like because I do have a hard time pushing myself hard enough. Hence the occasional 10-minute workouts, which is fine. But I do think I've kind of hit a plateau of working out at home by myself. And I don't want to go to a gym every day. I want to work out at home 90% of the time and occasionally go and let someone guide me and like, that's not proper form. Try these exercises. I texted the gym because I do have a membership. And I just said, I'm going to come back next week. And so the owner of the gym texted me back and was just like, hey, let's have coffee next week right before your workout. Just trying to help me stick with it. So next week, I'm only going to commit to one time there. But I do my things at home. I'm going to stay with that, but I'm going to go one time next week before we record again.
Oh, good.
Oh, my goodness. Please share with us what you're doing. Don't make us do this alone. Life is better in community, and we need you just like hopefully you need us. So join us. Heather, what have you done in the last week? Oh, my goodness. What have you done in the last week that has brought you and those around you joy? Or you or those around you joy?
We had a family cookout on Sunday afternoon. It was a beautiful day. And so several families got together. We had food and games and everything. It was so great to take a break from everything else that's going on. And it's awesome.
I'm just going to add to that because I was one of
were there.
I represent one of the families. It brought me joy. I didn't do it to bring myself or other people joy, but it brought me and continues to bring me joy when I see our children able to come together at various ages. I think about Lucy often because she's the only one of the bigs that's a girl. Just to see our kids enjoy life together. And I said, Chase sometimes is my one that doesn't want to go and doesn't want to do things. I said family dinner. We're having family dinner at the Georges. And Cooper's like, what? Like, that was so confusing to him. And Chase was like, these are the people that are our family, Cooper. Like, hello. But just to see that this is a safe place for my kids to do life. I mean, Cooper's 1 day off of a hard breakup or 2 days off of. Lucy asked me, hey, is Cooper still have his girlfriend right before Cooper got there? And I was like, no, and it's really sensitive. And so nobody talked about it. Like just how well our kids can love one another. And yeah. Oh, man, so good.
So
Let's
great.
have another cookout. workout.
Yeah.
Or we can go to a Friday night football game together because we've got that coming this week too.
Yeah, we do.
Anyway, if you've enjoyed our podcast, we would love for you to text us what you're doing, what your habit is. Text Life in Motion to the number 23101 and follow the prompts. Let us know what habit you're changing. But also, would you subscribe and share the podcast with others? I know there are people in your life that would benefit from changing some habits in order to change the desires that they're really wanting in life and ultimately to be more like Jesus. So we would love to invite them along on the journey as well. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.